Hey everybody, Duality here with a training pack that I made, and this one will be for Procrastinate and some people on his team. This is mostly it's a completely offensive pack, based around different scenarios that you'll find yourself on the offense, either when pushing up on a play or working on finishing a play. Okay, so this one is a simple bounce out from the right side of the net, and in this one you can practice air rolling and also practice putting your car in the best spot with regards to the ball there as you're making the touch. So with all of these you want to break it down to the bare minimum, just step by step. So if I go straight at this and jump, it's going to go forward obviously because I'm hitting the front of the ball every time. But then if I adjust my cart a little bit to the right and still dodge forward, I'm getting a lot sharper cut. So you'll see me just slightly turn here at the beginning, still go up, and then I'm still dodging forward, but it's cutting the ball over. So when I see the ball coming out from the wall, first I want to see how fast it's going as I start creeping up and gravity's going to be taking play, and as it goes up I'm going up with it and I want to finish it. That's way too slow. So the idea is, you can either practice getting in from the right angle there without air rolling your car, or you can practice air rolling. And the difference is that air rolling is going to give you a sharper cut across the ball. So we can do this one more time where I'm kind of just dodging straight into it. And that's basically right around that goalpost there. And if I want to air roll, I can push it way deeper into net. So as I'm going up for the ball from my jump, I'm just going to air roll my car to the right. And that way I'm just I'm pushing the ball to the left with the hood of my car. So I'm going to get going up, jump, air roll, and then push. And here I'm going to try to just play it a little bit slower and slower to give you the basic idea. So I'm going to read, and then as I jump, I'm going to air roll right, and then I'm going to dodge into the ball when I touch it. So I'm waiting for it to jump, I'm jumping, and I maybe want to boost a little bit to get to it, but I'm just waiting, jumping, and then dodging as I make contact with the ball. And once you get the basics of that down, because you can just keep playing that shot pretty slowly, and then just build up speed from there. So if I want to go faster, I just need to make sure that I'm also getting my car in the air faster, just enough upwards momentum to get to the right side. Because if I shot that from the underside of the ball, it'll get it too high. You'll see it'll just keep shooting it above net like that if I'm a little too early or something. But once I'm around that sweet spot, around the mid zone of the ball, that'll give me the sort of touch I want there. And that shot is pretty slow, and to get it faster, you just want to dodge as late as possible. And you'll find that the later you can dodge your car for shots like that, the more power you'll get on it. And of course you want to boost when you hit the ball too. So I'm going to go up as quick as possible, air roll into it, and you'll see that you don't even need to air roll that much at it. Just that you're doing it so quickly as you go up. The idea is your car is still more to the right side and more tilted to the right when you go to make the shot. So it's going to apply X amount of horizontal momentum in the left. And so one way to practice this is when you're going up for it, wait as long as possible. Force yourself to kind of just play chicken with the ball. Give yourself as much time, and then, kind of psych yourself out to jump maybe a little bit later than you're used to, or do your dodge then. But you'll find you're getting more power on the ball when you wait. So again, if I do a little bit too early, you also don't have much power on it, or more accuracy. But it's kind of just going to lob the ball when you're going like that. Or if I do an air roll, that's alright, because I actually, by the time I dodged into it, it was going out enough into the car, as you'll see. So I'm still dodging as I make contact. But you see, the tip of the car, mid-dodge, is making contact with the ball as it goes out. And that's what gives it so much power. So you can work with, moving your car to the right here before you start, because that ball is going to be coming from there. So anytime you're making a shot, the straighter line you have at the net, the easier your shot's going to be. So if I start from here, I have to then get to the right and take a shot. In this case, it's not too bad, but if I was coming from here, it would be a lot harder, because I have to like cancel momentum in one way and take it the other. But if I start a little bit more to the right, I'll be able to apply like a lot more leftward power on the ball. So, you know, just work with starting maybe a little bit more to the right before you go for it, and then you can take a straight shot if I take it like that. And then you can still just practice dodging late. But you'll see if I get up quicker in air roll, I'm getting to the ball much quicker, and they should be taking that off of the bounce from the wall, the opponent should. So to beat them, especially at those higher ranks, you just have to get there quicker. So you have to make tighter and tighter shots like that. So you need to get to it quicker than them, but also be able to shoot it on target. So that's why a lot of times you might hit that near post there. You would want to rush it like that if there is someone like really in net close to that chasing. But if you have a little bit more time, you might want to wait a little bit longer and maybe get a shot wider to cut them off as they're trying to make the save. See, I'm just trying to get to the right most of the ball there. So I see someone kind of lunging at me. You know, I want to fake him out by just shooting it as left as possible. So, you know, again, if I have time, just making the most out of the time that I have and trying to play something a little bit different than they're expecting. So, yeah, that shot's just kind of sneaking into the bottom left corner there, because the car is hitting the ball basically on the complete right side, like that. So most of the force applied to that ball there is giving it that angle. So we can kind of review this just a little bit more. Again, try to focus on how you're going up here, how you're approaching the ball. Between just going straight, you see the difference. You can adjust your car then. But if you work this little right line into it, then you'll find easier situations. And again, like I can hit it farther to the left if I'm coming from the right side there. So we can kind of slow this down again. You know, I'm just checking, just waiting a little bit. Here, you can also slow down and practice single jump aerials. I mean, basically all of these shots would technically be classified as that, just small single jump aerials and power shots. And that's how you're going to get the most power on the ball. You see there, I was just a little bit too... I hit the ball a little bit too far on the lower side, so when I recognize that, and I just want to make sure I'm getting a little bit higher up on the next touch. So, you know, see what's going wrong with each shot that you try to take, and just try to tweak that a little bit. You know, I hit it too low earlier, so I just want to maybe wait a little bit longer as I'm going up before I make my shot. So again, the ideal thing is to just go as quick as possible, and then air roll, kind of like as you're doing that jump later into it. You'll see you just want to get the most speed, but I'm going to want to kind of peek my car to the right as I'm approaching, just to give myself a little bit better of a line. But nothing too crazy. Like if I go out like this, it's going to go out a little bit farther and my touch is harder. But if I kind of keep a tight line, but again still on the right side, I'm keeping my speed and still taking a relatively easy shot on target there. Okay, so we can move on to this one. This one, it might be the hardest one of the pack, idea-wise, but you see here, it kind of just rolls it up along the wall. So the idea here is, let's say I'm just going up to make a play. I would be the number one, more aggressive. I'm seeing it roll up, and so let's just imagine the defender, or on my team in net, we just basically made a clear up, and it's my turn to push on the ball. And so I need to beat the opponent to that ball, obviously, and they're going to want to try to get on that as quick as possible. So to beat them, you just need to read it and react quicker. So I see it going up, and I just need to get up as soon as possible and try to touch the ball on the left side there. So that was a pretty poor attempt, but yeah, so something like this looks really hard because you don't think, oh, there's no way I can hit it or, like make a shot from that. But as I'm pushing up, my teammate's behind me, and I'm going to want to trust him. So I just need to make sure I get to the ball quicker, and then he could play whatever happens from there as I cycle back. And so hopefully, because I'd be committing myself a lot like this, my teammate would be waiting a little bit around mid and then attack quickly once he sees me making the touch. And hopefully this would sort of draw the defenders out because it's so high above their net. So again, we could talk about how this looks daunting, just because it's such a tough, hard angle. So let's try to make this a little bit slower. So I see where the ball's going. It's moving a little bit to the left there. and I know I need to hit it to the right. So I can kind of just go forward, double jump, tilt up, boost, and then just feather my boost a little bit. And again, the main idea is just to pop that out to the right there. So you can get comfortable doing this slow. The idea is as long as you're hitting it, you should be drawing someone out and setting up a nice pass for your teammates. And as you do this a little bit more, you'll get more comfortable getting to it quicker, maybe with a faster aerial or meeting it more. So this is also, I can also break down exactly what I'm doing a little bit more here. So try to, and that's what you should be doing in your head as you go for this. Every movement that you make with your car should be anticipated. I don't want to say calculated, but you need to, there should be a reason for every single movement that you're making to your car. So first I need to get my car as high in the air as possible. That's the first part. I need to beat them to it in the air. So I'm going to, I mean, you can do a single or like a double jump aerial like that and then go up. And, but again, the main idea is first get your height on the ball or the car. You know, get height and then you can move forward and play it from there. And it isn't that like black and white. I don't want to go like this, straight up and then go forward. But give yourself an angle, but mostly keep it up. And then you can start working on applying momentum in the other way. So I just want to make the softest touch on this ball to knock it over. So I'm going to try to get up, feather it a little bit, and just make sure I'm making the lefternmost contact. And I can do that better by going a little bit more to the left and then coming in from the right. See, that's a little rough. I was too far to the left there because I kind of threw myself that way. So if I go from the left a little bit more and go onto it, I'll find myself with an easier approach there because I'm already a little bit to the left. So as I go to make my touch, I have an easier line of shot at it. Again, if I'm coming at it sort of straight here like this, I have to tilt over and then try to make the touch. Again, I can miss that like pretty easily, but I'm trying to make the softest touch with the very most left turn tip of the ball. Because if I smash it like this, or most other ways, how you would kind of go for it just to hit it, it's going to just get a crazy hit, and there's barely anything that your teammate's going to work with, even if I try to adjust. So to help them get to the play quicker, you know, you just want to tap it towards the net where they're going to be expecting it, where they should be waiting, and they want to follow it up from there. So again, I want to get up, just a little bit of an angle, but mostly forward, and then I can work on going farther down the pitch and adjusting by feathering. So I want to get up, and I can feather a little bit, try to make sure I'm touching that ball, and if I wait a little bit longer before I jump and go higher, I can meet that ball a little bit of an easier angle, you'll see there. So if I go up early like this, I can still hit it, but I have to make a lot more adjustments, and there's a lot more room for error. But if I get a little bit farther under, and then go up and tap it, I'm probably using less boost in the while I'm doing it, but I'm also giving myself more time to react to something. Since I'm on the ground longer, I can react to something because I'm still on the ground in case they hit it a little bit earlier than I expected. So as you're going for this as the one spot, your two spots should be coming up around like this way, a little bit more towards the mid, but opposites. And that's why you're just going to want to push it over to the right there, because he should be a little bit around mid waiting for something. So we just want to get a little push out on it to kind of cut it out above the enemies. Just like that. You know, if he's closer to the net, you know, again, that's when we might want to make a softer touch a little bit down towards. And then if he's farther back, then I kind of want to smash it a little bit more from the left side there. But again, because I'm attacking this ball from the left side, the pinch is still pushing it out there for him to hit. So as I'm going for this, you know, again, I'm just thinking left side, left side, left side. I want to get where the ball is going to be when I meet it, and just on the left side to make the softest touch out. If he's close, again, I might want to just kind of pinch it like that. Yeah, but this will just give you confidence to keep a quick rate of play going with your teammates. So a lot of times you'll kind of watch it like this, and the opponents will smack it over you, and then usually it'll be over, and then you'll find yourself having to turn around like that. But because you're making a play earlier, as soon as possible, you're either in or out, and it's good or bad, and then your teammate can react even quicker to get something going from there. Instead of you both waiting for the opponents to touch something, you're making a proactive attempt to keep the play going in your favor. And you kind of see if I make a little bit harder of a touch there, it can be easier to work with if he's out. But a lot of people, maybe towards the lower ranks, will be a little bit too close to net here, trying to like hurry up and beat it in. But realistically, you just want to catch them out of the play, get the defenders out, and beat them once it's going outward. Yeah, so there I'm tilting my car here like this. So I'm kind of facing that ball because I'm coming from the left side. So if like, you don't need to do that. Like, I can kind of just hit it like this, and again, just try to touch it on the left side. But it might be easier if I twist like this. And if you want to get comfortable doing that, again, just break it down to the bare minimum and practice everything step by step as much as possible. So jump, and then I'm going to twist. Jump, I tilt back, and then arrow left. So jump, tilt back, arrow left. And then I kind of just want to get... you just want to get comfortable doing it as more of a single motion. You think I'm going up for the ball, and I'm going up on the left side of the ball. So I'm jumping and I'm twisting to the left so I can attack it from a better angle. Because if I did something like this, you know, I can kind of tap it down, but it kills a lot. Again, if I'm playing it with my car facing the ball, like, I can react to it a little bit better. Again, because it's a little bit more natural with the way your car is facing. But, you know, again, I already covered how it's still okay to do it like this, but you might find that you're getting better touches if you're just twisting maybe a little bit like this to cut it back in. But that'll, again, just quicken the pace of your gameplay, and this is great for 2s or 3s. Now, if you're teammate was upfield and this goes up and you see him kind of around the goal line, around their net, then you definitely do not want to go for that. Instead, you kind of just want to follow it over here, and because it's on the left side of their net, they're going to be clearing it out, you know, away from their net. So you can kind of follow it and predict them to smack it over here. So you want to wait around midfield to just catch their hit. If they're going to beat you to the ball, let them hit it to you. Be where they're going to touch it. But if you have space, create pressure. Keep some speed so they don't really know what's going on. Okay, we can go ahead and let this go so we can move on to the next shot. Okay, so let's kind of peek at this one. This one is a high roll above net. And again, this one looks really tricky. It looks scary, and it looks like something you kind of want to just let go over and then play like this. Almost everyone I coach, for the most part, I would see it attacking the play like this. You know, maybe seeing if they're going to make a touch and then trying to catch it there. Or, you know, they might try to go up and meet it and smack it back over. But what makes this so tricky is... this is a common occurrence. You don't expect it, maybe, but it's bouncing against that wall. It's making the slightest touch, kind of like right there as it makes contact with the wall. But that'll, like, you expect to pinch it with the wall, but because it pops out, your hit is, you kind of get a lot worse hit than you expect. So you can go for this easy by following this line here, this blue and orange line. And this can help you practice predicting the ball and meeting the ball where it's going to be. Again, you see how it's weird because it's bouncing off the wall around that point. So I want to make sure that I'm outside. And again, because I keep going too quick for it, you know, I want to adjust that and maybe go a little bit slower and try to meet it out farther. But you can follow this line and you know you'll hit it, and that'll help train your mind to understand how quickly you need to go to hit the ball as it's going around a certain point in the field. You know, again, just seeing what you did wrong, what you can do right, and practicing controlling your car. So again, like I said, every movement should be, like, it should have a purpose. So if I find myself too far ahead, you know, again, I just want to make some soft, like, just lightly tilt back, just to kill some of my forward momentum, and then I can gain some more. So if I'm going too fast at the wall, I might want to really try to just slow myself down. That's too much. It's kind of unrecoverable there. But if I'm going a little bit too fast, especially because it's bouncing off the wall, you see, you might want to, like, find yourself doing that. But because, like, if I stay a little bit farther out in the first place, I have more time to react to it. I see it, I know I'm on the left side, I can take my time a bit, and just try to practice feathering my boost. So I'm just, you know, understanding how to control my car in the air while sort of making a soft touch in. And you'll see, like, I might want to come up more from the left again because I want to make this touch to the right and try to stay on the outside. So what I like about this line is it's kind of the basic play. This is basically like the slowest you would go to it if you're going to actually hit it in like an aerial sort of sense. So if you want to attack this ball quicker, just make a sharper line and then get up a little bit quicker and just try to keep yourself to the left there. You know, if you find yourself too slow, just try to get up farther. So like if I go up really quick and try to pinch this down, that would be a really good idea for the pass. But because I'm going all out on this, I need to make sure that I'm comfortable with hitting it. If I go this way, I have a little bit more time here, you see, to just react to how the ball is going and play it. So if I have some time to work with it and send it back to my teammate, you know, I might want to take the slower route like this and try to pinch it in. But then if I needed to get that ball out quicker, I just want to cut in a little bit more like this and try to just increase my speed at the ball. And to really pancake this and drop it down, you kind of have to meet your car to kind of smack it with the underbelly as it touches the wall there, just like that, and you'll see it like drop down. That's how a lot of like high-level pro teams play around the backboard. You know, I'm getting to it as quick as possible before a defender can, and I'm trying to drop it down in a position where a teammate can hurry up and get on it from there. You see, like, I'm just a little bit too far forward on it, so I just need a little bit more to the left to drop it down farther. And again, you know, you're just setting it up in a good spot for your teammates. You're keeping the pressure on, you're keeping a quick speed of the game, and you're also giving your teammate more space. Because you're going for this, you're not both sitting back and hesitating. He has more time and like wiggle room to adjust to the situation. So the quicker you give each other space and get up for it, the faster you'll find your rotation to be. So that's kind of it for the most part. Again, just try to keep your car a little bit to the left as you pinch into it, so you're smacking it to the right. So just try to like keep all those things in mind. You know, I want to smack it with like the underside, but I want to be to the left like that. You know, you're not going to hit this perfect every time, but it's going to help you adjust to how to hit it at the speed that you're going. So then, you know, no matter what, you'll be more comfortable getting up in the first place like this, and then adjusting to what's going on. And then, you know, freestyling is just, it's too slow, so you just have to attack it directly, try to drop it down there. Okay, so we can move on to the next shot here. Okay, so this one is I specifically designed for single jump aerials, and this is something that needs to be hit. If you want to get to the higher ranks, most people are going to miss this, and I kind of go over why. They're going to hit it high like that almost every time. They're going to rush at the ball and try to smack into it. And you see, because I'm hitting the underside of the ball, it's just pushing that ball up way too much. So for a single jump aerial, we can kind of quickly go over the basics here. Practice one thing at a time. As you're jumping, instead of jumping up, practice holding that thumbstick back while you're jumping. Make it one fluid motion of jumping up and like tilting or pointing your car upwards. And that'll start it. And then once you're comfortable doing that, you know, just add boost to it. You can do it and then boost, but you know, as you want to get quicker and quicker, again, you want to make it one single fluid motion. So I'm jumping, tilting, and boosting at the same time. And I'm just getting a lot more speed on the ball. We're not going to focus on fast aerialing too much because this is about just single jump aerial, like power shots on net. So go at it and then see what you're doing wrong, which will probably be that for the most part if you're going quick enough. If you go slow, you might just not hit it with enough power like that. If you're not kind of boosting the whole time, you'll actually find that you have less control in a situation like this if you give yourself too much time to think about it. And again, like a double jump like that, you see I can hit it in with some decent speed if I let it connect with the front part of my car, but I'm still going to be faster if I dodge into it. So I'm going to go at it, and then sort of as the ball's bouncing, going towards the ground to start bouncing back up, that's when I'm going to jump. So that way I'm jumping, and then because I'm sort of at a distance from it, I jump earlier, and then I keep going at it. So by the time the ball is then in the air towards me, I'm making a connection with it. And so just test this and try to get higher up on the ball. Force yourself to go up a little bit more before you make your shots. like test out how long you need to tilt your car upwards to save the to make the shot on, as opposed to high. And to do it, you know, it'll take a lot of time to practice that and getting it accurately. But like I said, it's just too hard to do it slow. So the quicker you get it done, like the quicker you go at the ball, the more control you'll find that you actually have. Let me kind of just get it back into the slash shots. Okay, and that's the roll. And that's a single jump, like into a power shot. Again, I'm kind of making it one fluid motion of tilting up, boosting, and then dodging and boosting as I make contact with it. Okay. So again, just focusing on how long you're tilting your car up before you make your shot and boosting. And then you'll find that sweet spot of getting up high enough to where you're not kind of dunking it down like that, but still making a quick shot, you know, just like that under crossbar. Up, and then try to dodge forward at the last second possible. Again, that's just a little bit too high, so I wasn't up high enough. And that's too low again, so I just want to make sure I'm tilting my car up a little bit more. And yeah, you just want to kind of connect on that sweet spot when you're right in the middle of it. Well, like just above the middle for the most part, because as you're meeting this, you're going to be just around like a little, like maybe 3/4 of the goal net. So you just want to be probably mostly towards where crossbar is when you're making the dodge. So that way, again, you know, you're just above the middle enough to create a little bit of downward momentum after it comes towards you. So it's just going to push it straight forward. Okay. So here, we kind of peek at this, it's going to bounce out. And this is another one of the harder ones where, again, you kind of want to consider yourself the one spot with a two spot kind of anchoring backfield. And so this is to help you practice getting it quickly. So most of the time you're going to end up watching it because you're going to look and analyze it and then before you go up. But once you see it kind of like this, it's in most people's minds like, oh no, you know, it's out of the play. You know, I guess I'll just watch it or maybe kind of like smack it into the corner, something like that. But, you know, take a look at where the ball's going. You see it up, just get up. And then you'll see that eventually you can still tap it back down to mid. And that's the whole idea here. You're going at it so your teammate can start pushing up to help you after you make your touch on the ball. But the quicker you get up and to the right side of the ball, the quicker you can actually tap it left for him. And sometimes you can actually make this if you get up quick enough. But it'll help you focus on practicing your boost and getting like really high soft touches back down. And one thing you can do is kind of get a mental note of how long you're boosting up. For me, it's kind of like 2 seconds, roughly as I time it. And then I just start letting go and feathering. So we'll let this go and I'll just boost. And then kind of let go, and you know, find that sweet spot where I don't have to keep boosting anymore. Get a feel for how much that boost is pushing you in the air, high up enough, and then so that way when you let go, you see I boost again as I make contact, because at the moment I make contact, my car is facing more towards the net, so it's applying a little bit more momentum down and in. So I just want to get up to the right, and then start feathering a little bit to just tap it back down in. It doesn't look like you can hit it, but if you just keep going fast and force yourself to get to it, you'll see that it's not actually too bad to get to. And then you see me just slowly rotating my car inward towards the ball. There I'm too far in the mid, so I want to just start off a little bit more to the right and then start tilting back in as I make my touch from there. Again, the whole idea is to just get it ready for teammates. I mean, this can be a shot if you're good enough to consecutively hit it there. I'm a little bit too close, so I want to get farther up forward on it. But yeah, try to pick out one thing that you did wrong in your shot attempt and focus on that. So that one, I actually had a little bit too much power on it, so I might want to just slow down a little bit more like this. And again, I'm kind of just getting a pop up, so I might want to make sure I'm a little bit more towards the right of the ball there as I go to make my touch. So again, pointing to the right and then sort of adjusting my card to the left, trying to stay behind it. There I'm just too far ahead. I want to make sure I'm still out far enough to where I'm facing towards the net. Yeah, so you kind of just read it slowly, see what you're doing every single time. That was on target, but again, if I made better contact with the ball, like with a better part of my car, I would have got more power. That kind of killed it with the touch of my tires there. So just get up as quick as possible, and then eventually right at the end there, you're going to turn your car to the left. So basically just one single motion of up, and then like at the very last moment, you'll be pointing yourself to the left, like that, to try to make a touch on. As long as you're just getting up there and above, then your second touch will be more down and in. So focus on getting up as quickly as possible, and then, once you're comfortable there, just keep focusing on tilting your car at the last seconds. Again, I'm a little bit too far to the middle, so I might want to be more to the right. Again, just a little bit more to the right. Try to make sure that I'm still focusing on staying outward, that I'm not pushing my car too far in away from the net. And try to... Yeah, so like that last little spurt of boost is what is most important to making the shot. The first part of this is getting your car in the right spot, like as far as on the field and in the air. And the second part of that is just then sort of taking the shot being where you just like tilt your car back in it and give it another touch of boost. And I keep going a little bit too far close, so I just want to practice maybe tilting my car up a little bit more so I'm not going forward as much. And then you can focus on adjusting that and how certain touches need to be made and why, and you'll get much more comfortable with it. But the main idea is you're setting up for a teammate. You don't have to so much focus on making a shot. You'll make it as a shot as you improve and get better as a player. But you're keeping speed with the ball and then letting a teammate get to it whenever they can. Okay, so we can go on to the last one here. And this one is kind of weird. It's not what you expect, but this is a little bit more common than you think, and there are two ways to approach this. So there are two different things you can focus on when you're doing this. One, which is sort of my favorite thing, is trapping the ball and catching it so you can play it close to your car again. So here it's going to bounce off the ceiling, and you want to meet it just like there, going as slow as possible. And the idea is you want to get on the left side of the ball and force it to cut to the right. So I want to make sure I'm not going too fast or too slow, and you'll find the best way to go about this is apply your speed and then sort of slow down. And then since you're slowing down, you have more control over the ball when you start getting there. If I make myself go fast enough early enough, then I don't have to worry about it too much when I go to make contact with it. You see, I can sort of slow myself down there. And then you'll find maybe if you boost into it, like as you touch the ball, you can keep playing with it a little bit more. So that's another thing you can practice. But the first idea there is just, again, step by step. The first touch here, just getting that touch over, like opposite. Just making sure that you're making contact, preferably like soft contact, so you can keep playing it like that. So get your speed and then slow down and then try to meet it and point your car as much as possible towards the goal. But again, just so you're just like scooping it up on the left side of the ball, cutting a little bit in. And then you can practice playing it from there. Because you'll find that pretty important. If you find that you can't get up for the shot or anything, then you might want to do something like that. An instance where you'd want to catch this, as opposed to shoot it in any case, would be if all of the opponents are more towards net, ready to defend, they're anticipating a shot, you want to just keep it away from them. So that's where you want to just kind of get ready to make a soft little catch and play it from however it goes there, whether it's with a teammate or not. But again, because the first touch is nice and soft, I still have possession of the ball. So I'm not just giving it to them. Anytime I want to make a shot on net, it better have a good chance of going in or make a passing opportunity. So get to it and then speed up, sort of slow down, feel it, and just touch the left there. Just that perfect left corner. You're not dodging or anything. And once you get comfortable making that touch, get used to playing it after. And just trying to, what I usually do is try to smack it into that right corner. So I make the touch, and then I try to, if it, goes where I can touch it again, making sure that I'm just scooping it as far away from them as possible. Just kind of tinkering around with it. But, hopefully getting it into that far corner, something like that, that's a little off. But, you're making a touch, and then sort of trying to react to it quickly, based on what's going on in the field. So, soft touch, and then try to play it. Most of these times I'm just going to be messing up, trying the idea of rushing it. But if you force yourself to do that, you'll be 10 times more comfortable at making the play from there. So just think about which side of the ball you're getting on before you make the touch, and then committing to it from there. So boost up, slow down, and then just try to make a soft touch as it goes on. And then I can kind of play it, or practice like a handbrake turn. That's another thing you can practice here, is getting ahead of it, and then handbraking and trying to boost turn into it after you make the touch. That's a little bit too close, but no matter what, you're still getting a feel for how drifting and kind of boosting into the ball works. So if I wanted to go out like this, how are my touches being made, and where am I hitting it when something like that happens. So you see there, that's a little bit better of a try. I'm making a soft touch down, and I continue working with it, and then I want to get that I want to get that second touch out as soon as possible. So we can run through this one more time. I'm going to look at it as it goes out. I want to just get a little bit to the right of the ball and try to anchor it in. There I'm just a little bit too late. I just need to keep going and keep my momentum. There I'm too far below the ball, so it pushes it out. Again, just looking at what exactly is being done wrong each time. There I'm too far above. That's okay, but I'm not dodging late enough. I'm dodging a little bit too early. And that's a little bit better. You see, as you just practice it a couple times, your muscle memory and ability to understand what to do there will improve tenfold. So, and here, I just want to get to the left again, try to pinch it a little bit out to my teammate, tap it. And here I just want to get up as quick as possible, or if I want to take this way, I can kind of take it slow. Try to tap it back into a teammate. And this would be the single jump one, so I want to make sure I'm getting up enough, and then shooting down into it. And here, this is where it's going to bounce out right pretty wide, so I want to make sure I'm just getting up a little bit to the right, and then tap it back down. There, I'm just a little bit too far up forward. That should be in. Yeah, so, I noticed that I'm too far up on the ball, so the next time I go up, I'm just taking a little bit higher of an approach. I'm angling my car back a little bit more, so I'm not going downward, down towards the net quicker. And so this one, you can cut it. I can also start showing you the other thing you can do. If they're about to challenge and you need to keep the speed, then you can take a shot, as opposed to catching it, as I showed earlier. So there, you just want to wait for the bounce off the ground, get to the left of the ball, and then dodge right into it. And this takes a decent bit of practice, depending on how skilled you are. But it'll really ground the idea of just putting your car to a side of the ball and then opposite dodging into it as an easy shot to apply some sort of power. You can follow it up if you want. That's just too weak. So again, waiting for that bounce there, trying to get up. And there I cut the ball too low, so it goes up too much. And there I'm a little bit too far forward, so I want to make sure I'm a little bit wider. Just try to take it slow. Understand every single move that you're making. Again, I'm just trying to make the tightest little cuts here. And even if I don't make it there, it's close enough to to make a passing opportunity. And, I kind of worry about maybe going at a tighter angle from there, so it's not too much left to right, but more diagonally by starting off a little bit to the left there and going in from that. That's just double jumping too much. But again, I'm not trying to focus on hitting the shot in so much every time, as focusing on making it one fluid motion of, as the ball's bouncing out from the ground, I'm getting up, and then, dodging right into it. That's just way too slow. But again, just trying to meet it at some sort of side, and then cutting into it as you go from there. And, usually, especially in threes at least, it'll be a good pass. You see there, if I kind of meet it along the ground a little bit more, I might hit it a lot more often, but the shots have a lot more variability. Again, I'm just hitting it too far from the right side of the ball. I need to, get myself more to the left to make the touch. So I'm going to try to just slightly move a little bit more left each time, and then if I'm too far to the left, move a little bit more to the right. Just making minor adjustments in how I make it, and then concentrating on how each of these touches is affecting the ball, and how I need to adjust to what I'm doing. So trying to get it and then dodge in. So, after some practice, you can just read it a little bit easier and then get a nicer shot. So I'm not going too high up in the air here, just enough to catch the ball as it's making its bounce. So that should give you a good bit to work with there. Again, just try to break things down piece by piece, reduce everything to its simplest form. Once you master each one of those, just take it step by step, and then you'll feel a lot more comfortable playing into things. If you try to make a attempt at a shot and then just try to keep playing around with the ball, you might find that you're not improving as much, as opposed to trying to make a shot and then just resetting, working on the shot, resetting, and just quickly getting a feel for those micro adjustments that you're making to your car as you're driving around trying to approach these shots. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this helps you. Send me a message if you're looking for the link to this pack. Thanks.